Hello everybody, what's going on? It's your boy Spivver SRA here with another video, and yeah, welcome back to today's video. Today we are going to be going over the French Grand Prix. Make sure to like, subscribe, and yeah, enjoy the video. So before we move on to anything, let's get into the qualifying results, and it was Lewis Hamilton taking yet another pole position, followed by Valtteri Bottas P2, making a Mercedes front row lockout. It was Ferrari Charles Leclerc going on P3, followed by Max Verstappen in P4. Lando Norris and Carlos Sainz taking out the third row, making it an all McLaren third row, followed by Sebastian Vettel, Daniel Ricciardo, Pierre Gasly, and Antonio Giovinazzi, making very good result for the two McLarens, and a poor qualifying for Sebastian Vettel and Pierre Gasly. I will get into that later. And then our Q2 eliminations are Toro Rosso's Alexander Albon, Alfa Romeo's Kimi Raikkonen starting P12, Nico Hülkenberg starting P13 for Renault, Sergio Perez starting P14 for Racing Point, and Romain Grosjean starting P15 for the Haas F1 team. Very bad qualifying for both him and Sergio Perez. Hopefully they can make it up in the race. And then your Q1 eliminations are Daniel Kvyat for Toro Rosso, Romain Grosjean, who will be starting P15 tomorrow for Haas F1 team, followed by Lance Stroll, who will be starting P17 tomorrow for Racing Point, followed by the two Williams of George Russell and Robert Kubica for making P18 and 19. And that is the Q1 report. Let's move on to what happened in qualifying. So first we're going to move on to what happened between Raikkonen, Ricciardo, and Grosjean in Q1. Basically what happened is Ricciardo was on the racing line, or not on the racing line, but he was about to start his flying lap in the third sector. He was trying to stay off the racing line. He was on the right-hand side going into turn 13. As Raikkonen was coming in on his flying lap, Ricciardo tried to stay out the way, but he also didn't want to go off the track as there was a lot of dust there, and he didn't want to get his tires dirty. Raikkonen tried to avoid him, but in the end he couldn't and went off the track, or he did avoid Ricciardo about the track, but at the cost of going off track. Grosjean then came in going past Ricciardo as Raikkonen was rejoining the track. As Raikkonen was trying to rejoin the track, he almost came back onto the racing line. Grosjean anticipated it as Raikkonen was going to go onto the racing line, and Grosjean backed out of his lap. Me personally, I didn't think it would have happened if Ricciardo would have stayed to the left-hand side of the track. This is coming from a Ricciardo fan. I do think it is his fault, but at the end of the day, you can't really penalize him. He was trying to stay out of other people's way. I don't see how that's a penalty. And Romain Grosjean, did that interfere with his Q1 performance? I mean, he had another chance, but it might have. But yeah, it wasn't Raikkonen's fault, wasn't Grosjean's fault. Let's move on to other things. So now we're going to move on to the two McLarens. First of all, very good job. They're going to be starting on the third row, P5 and P6 with Lando Norris just ahead of Carlos Sainz. But yeah, I figured I'd just put it in there because it's impressive. They've managed to outqualify both Sebastian Vettel and Pierre Gasly. So anyway, as far as the race is going to go, I don't really know much. I haven't seen the practice times, actually. I watched practice highlights. But yeah, we don't know what their tire wear is going to be like. But yeah, I have a good feeling they're going to have at least a 7-8 finish, maybe even finish ahead of Pierre Gasly, seeing how his form is. But yeah, let's see in the race. Moving on to other things now. So now we're going to be talking about Sebastian Vettel. Oh boy, this is disappointing. Basically, what went on was, or not what went on, but let's start with Q2. He was doing very well, very close to Valtteri Bottas. I believe somewhere around 7 1/100ths, seven 1/100ths of a second behind Valtteri Bottas in P2, in Q2, sorry. But then into Q3, something just snapped. Basically, On his first one, he ended up abandoning the run actually because he missed an upshift, and lost a lot of momentum. Apparently, he lost so much momentum that he said it wasn't even worth finishing the lap. So, yeah, that I found really interesting. And then he probably just had a bad sector or something. Actually, a lot of people on the second run in Q2 had a yellow sector. Why, I do not know. Yeah, maybe the marbles were already kicking in. But yeah, if that is true, then we could be in for a tire degradation race, and we could see some two stoppers. But yeah, let's get on to the Martin, which was his qualifying time was 1.4 seconds off Lewis Hamilton. For qualifying over one lap, that is huge. Hopefully they'll have more race pace, but that was not good. I thought his morale was going to be quite high going into the weekend, seeing that one, he just got married, and two, well, technically he was supposed to win the race in Canada, but as we all know, he got a penalty. But he did cross the line first, and yeah, and as we've seen in the past with Sebastian Vettel, his morale, he needs to have good morale. We saw at Red Bull, I mean, nothing could really stop him besides Fernando Alonso, and Fernando Alonso almost stopped him, but yeah, not really much else to say. So I know, by the way, I just want to make this real quick. I know that I'm making this, or I'm coming out with this late. First of all, I apologize. I had a family gathering to attend, or I had to attend it, rather. And yeah, I watched the French Grand Prix late. So yeah, my apologies for coming out with this very late, and probably the only people that are going to see this are the Europeans tomorrow morning at this time of recording. But yeah, my apologies for coming out with this so late. Let's just, yeah, but now we're going to talk about some of the pre-race, or some of the race speculation from the midfield. I think both of the Alfa Romeos will finally finish in the points. This looks like a very, very strong track to them. Nico Hülkenberg as well, I think he could be challenging also for points. Alexander Albon, I think he's got more, or actually, that Toro Rosso's got good pace. Obviously, Daniel Kvyat will be starting from the back of the grid. I don't really think he's going to be able to make it to the points. Yeah, not really much else to say. Definitely the two McLarens will be finishing, I'm thinking maybe 7th, 8th, maybe Pierre Gasly finishing behind him, because I just, with Pierre Gasly's current form, the only thing he's got going from this weekend at this point is, well, I mean, he's got that Red Bull, obviously, but everyone's putting a lot of pressure on him now, and oh crap, I have to do my extra. So anyway, guys, that is the end of today's late video. Hope you guys enjoyed. I will be back with a Formula 1 race review, so yeah, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, and I will see you guys later.